ಶ್ರೀಮತೆ ರಾಮಾನುಜಾಯ. This is a jubilant august assembly of technocrats, knowledge tanks, think tanks, advisors, promoters and scholars pertaining to the field of making energy sources sustainable, renewable and accessible and affordable to all corners of the whole human society. Thereby bridging the energy divide as well as the economic divide and technical divide that exists as a major calamitous situation of the modern trend which has resulted in all abnormalities. And here different approaches have been made by different people. Statistical approach have been made by people. Comparative studies of various developing countries, their energy centers and establishments have been made by few people. Strategic analysis has been made. Logistic studies has been made. Logical approach and scrutiny has been made. But still there is a gap between statistical, strategic, logistical and logical approaches. When coming to the pragmatic approach or pragmatic installation or what we call implementation in the society, while coming to the distribution. So apart from mere science and technology, apart from mere marketing as well as producing and storage devices, apart from knowledge resources of research, development, education and dissemination, there are two more agencies. One is to keep in the spirit of the common agency, the recipients of the society. It is known as awareness, integrity. And second thing is to kindle always the political sources which frame the basic substratum of governance by which can be translated into a mere possibility from an artistic dream. So we have to take about the spiritual, economical and social concern that exist which could verify or animate science and technology to be a practical vision instead of an imaginary one. So as different topics with their own statistical figures are to be given or have been given or will be given by various people in the papers, presentations and their discourses, I want to just give you some areas which are the basic substratum, which also forms the primordial base, which deals with the ontology and teleology and pragmatology of what we call energy resources. Number one, we know that each and everybody is driven by a force to act. So for everybody to sustain, to survive, to establish, to conduct, to organize, also to lead others, they need different grades of energy. When it was initially something connected with sentience, with living beings, when the living beings' sentient promotion of intellectual journey resulting in the advent of science and technology has resulted in mechanical support, industrial support, then support of the industries of automation. Now we are in the era of artificial intelligence and robotics. The more the utility is there, more human endeavors are substituted, associated and replaced by mechanism in advance of artificial intelligence and automation. Human being even to think, even to progenitate or even to cogitate with the social endeavors after few decades, we will be relying upon machineries. So far, each and every year, we are seeing the accelerated increase of human dependence with machineries. So machineries being substitution, replacement and inseparably indispensable associated members of the humankind, they require also energy. Just as a pregnant lady should consider also for the babe inside to be fed with extra nutrition, we are in such a position that in spite of our starving nature and hunger strike, we are pushed to such a level to feed our machineries and see that the whole world is mechanically or scientifically comfortable. So apart from physical comfort, feeding the machine, that's what we used to call it is a triad or trilateral combat in the world. The first thing is for food, second is for the fuel, third thing is for the drugs. So we are going to cultivate herbs which are there because increasing all the diseases. Are we going to support it with fuels? Because simultaneously fuels are also to be necessitated from replenishable and renewable sources rather than the fossil fuels, and as well as the consumable elements which are very conventional in standards, which results in various disgracious endings in the calamitous forms of what we call climate change, global warming, various other pollution-related diseases, pandemics, everything is cyclically and perpetually caused by all of these things. It is not only depletion in the fuel, it is not only mechanical or scientific depletion, it is a threat to the total extinction. It is what we call extinction, whereby the living beings will no more be able to be alive in the real form in which they are to be, or totally they will be ethically totally extirpatable element in the world. So it created three major clauses in the society. One is absolute extinction, where everybody will be lost. Second is partial existence, in which everybody will be imbecile or impotent to do anything. The third thing is a troublesome and suffocating environment, in which daily they have to die instead of dying once. So this type of triad compact is a social problem as well as a global problem, and unless there is integrity and mutual understanding and collective bargaining and what that has been taken here now, it reaches each and every corner of the society, it is not going to come in solution. So energy is a very great necessity now because of our unruly, unbalanced, unprudent way of expansion of over-dependence towards mechanical devices. So apart from feeding the devices, proper utility, proper time sharing, semi-independence, mutuality, independent existence, collective existence and alternative technologies are the innumerable ways apart from merely sophisticating the devices, enriching the devices, enhancement of devices by nanotechnology, by bio-nanotechnology, by cybernetics, nanorobotics, innumerable systems are there. Instead of promoting merely the machineries, we have to promote the caliber of human beings, how to live independently, how to use limitedly, how to save power. Unless these things are created by a spiritual awakening or a social concern, all the other technologies will be a burden on the national asset as well as the budget. So considering a few points which we can just share from our own point of view, we have given a lot of other things about energy as well as the developing countries, how they are doing that. And especially we are now concentrating on something which we used to call in Shastras as Purna, Anitya, Avinashi. Only God is called as Purna, the complete. Avinashi, those who are imperishable in nature, that which is infinite in nature. But in nature also, apart from the God or divinity or the so-called imperishability or eternity and infinity, in the basic resources or primeval elements of life, we have a lot of renewable and eternal sources which are self-replenishable in nature. So by these things now we have taken a new dimension, instead of depending on something which is secreted, which is stored and which is supplied, which is served and which is sustainably made by means of technical upgradation. All of these categories are applied to non-renewable sources like fossil fuels. Now we are having a different dimensional view on renewable sources based on water, solar energy, tidal energy and various other supplementaries and derivatives that can be intercombined or interrelated by means of cash production, by means of scientific advancement that we are going to concentrate. Now there is a reasonable awareness. You should first understand. Whenever I will address renewable energy seminar at IIT Delhi, actually we are personally consulted to some solar power stations and thermal plants, and there is one special unit which has been initiated by me. Apart from being a small engineer, I want to just have a small introduction myself in my concern as well as collaboration and advisory status in something which we are going to discuss. I am also having a practical dimension and connectivity. I want to do that. Recently they have made, just as in foreign countries, they have started with making micro units. Micro units are small off-added application units which are now developing in major countries in the West. Now they are also preparing that Coimbatore. They have recently installed a thing which is meant for household stability, household sufficiency or household power efficiency. It is either as a substitute or as an associate with the mixed fuel or the traditional electrical system as well as the solar electrical power, or it can also create an added system which has a consolidated grid for a company, for industrial concern, or for a multi-story building which has a lot of accommodation and residential. So now they are preparing that. Like that, the whole world is now getting a slow vision. The vision is slow. When the vision gets accelerated, the implementation gets slow. When it is implemented by projects, aims, policies, as well as legislations by governments, it reaches towards the public, it gets delayed. There is some sort of coordination. It is known as hierarchy. Whenever you see an ocean in the first hierarchy, when it reaches the public, it becomes a droplet which could not satiate your thirst. Whenever it crosses several generations, it is known as trans-departmental trespass or transmission, which makes to see nothing but a vapor in the last repute end. So our end receiver should be benefited. There is one set of policy makers and departmental collision, or it is coalition, whatever it may be. Then it is from the departmental as well as the so-called implementing universities, education institutes, etc. Then education institutes versus research institutes. Research institutes versus products. Products are storage, import, export versus indigenous usage. Indigenous usage versus marketing people. Marketing people versus urban people. Urban industries versus rural people. Rural versus concerned, only society can bring a very great renaissance effect. The whole university that is existing in the whole universe, they made a study and given a very, very good report stating that there is a dawn for renewable energy sources. 18% of the global energy consumption that has been reported that it comes from renewable energy sources. And apart from that, 30% comes from conventional biomass and 3% it comes from hydroelectrics and 2.4% that is coming from other conventional sources like modern biomass techniques and biofuel techniques, photovoltaics, etc. And whenever global electricity, the total production has been estimated by Minnesota University of Energy Assessment globally. They have also stated a very comfortable statement, encouraging statement that 80% of the global energy productivity is also from renewable sources, in which hydroelectricity that majorly rules and 50% it is done, and 3.4% is done by other renewable energy sources. But it is very much favorable in the figures. It is very much favorable whenever say few countries or few cities, when you are considering about your village, your personal usage and your provincial status, it is not accessible at all and the rate is very slow. The rate of development based on our necessity, based on the adversity, based on fossil fuel depletion, based on the encouraging global climatic change and the so-called warming that is competing with farming. What it has to be developed in the nation is farming. That is totally diminishing. What we have to make it diminish is warming. That is particularly that is a non-wanted. So this type of reciprocal view of maleficious as well as beneficial factors of the world to sustain, that has created a very great vacuum between research end product, statistical report and our personal experience. So we want to understand how the other countries are developing. Why comparative study is made? For two reasons. If they can develop, why we cannot? The second thing is very super. If even they can develop, why we cannot? So there are two such things. Whenever we consider, we want to understand about the various other productivity areas. For example, in most parts of Asia and as well as in countries like US, China, etc., they are promoting wind energy. 1,57,900 megawatts has been reported in 2009. And whenever coming into the second energy, that is known as photovoltaic energy, we are seeing renewable development also in wind energy, where 6,900 megawatts has been produced and it has been reported photovoltaic cells and their electrification is very much reported in advanced countries like Germany and Spain, in which they played a major role in which we could not make any significant or conspicuous design at all. So Germany and Spain, they lead in that. The wonder is to be reported later after finishing this statistical report. Then the third thing is, whenever you see about few countries like US and even Spain, there are a lot of thermal power stations producing at least 354 megawatts as per the recent report, 2009 report. They are doing that. And especially in the particular Mozambique desert, there is a Mozambique desert in which they have installed culling the maximum potential output of solar energy. We are also having Thar desert, how much we have culled out. So 354 megawatt is being produced from Mozambique desert. And the second thing is, apart from all of these things, we are also seeing some areas wherein by geothermal energy is also very much culled, extracted. Geothermal energy out of 750 megawatts has been culled out and being used in cases of California. And finally, you should know that they have been talking about this ethanol, how to use ethanol. And Brazil is a leading country in ethanol production as well as application of ethanol, 18% towards its automatic devices. The major energy consumption, both the industrial as well as our domestic users, as well as the research and advanced utilities, is automation. Automation is the major consumption and major source of pollution also. Whenever there is a drastic change, how you see randomly your place or you see your village, how much they have controlled, there is emission control movement. If you give 50 rupees more, you can get a certificate for 5 years or 10 years. You can get even the machine. That's what we told whenever we are crossing the border, the border of Bihar from Nepal. If you give 50 rupees, you can cross the border. And if you give 50 or 100 rupees more, the person will come with you to serve in your house as a domestic servant. That much is the poverty and lack of sincerity for such people. So how far this, unless this automation, which is the major source of consumption, there is a political lobby, there is an international political lobby, there is the Middle East fossil international political lobby, by which even cars like Reva, which are running in electricity, which can be very much used for your domestic purposes. Japan has introduced, you are getting arthritis, spondylitis and back pain and over obesity. So you stop all the cars in your own places. If you want to purchase one, stop it there itself or Bombay is also easily portable, there is lesser congestion, you are also healthy. Singapore, you have to get a special license for purchasing a car because all such public transport services are made available. Unless you look after in the administrative and public sector, how you can merely deal with science and technology? Science and technology is just flesh, but the flesh requires bone to stabilize, bone requires marrow to stabilize, it requires a beautified skin to cover, it requires a spin to make it run. Science is just a fleshy system which makes everything sustainable by means of a prospective binding. It requires a lot of other sources, alternative, supportive and binding sources are required. So this is the program of the society. 80% of the automobiles are run by mere ethanol in these countries. And countries like Kenya, all the normal domestic products, they have been marketed only by household solar devices. Starting from just 50 kV to 100 kV. 5 kV to 100 kV, 1 kV to 5 kV. So 30,000 solar micro units and simpler units are marketed every year in Kenya. That's why they are prospering. How much they are marketing here? Solar heaters, solar cookers, solar cooling, solar drain devices are there. How much it reaches? Research and production. Production and marketing. Marketing and purchase. You see the divided inside. It has a vast image of a valley. How they can build a bridge and how they can be divided. So this should be converted or consulted or conducted in rural areas with incentive, bonus and vernacular language approaches. Otherwise it is not easily possible to make that. And considering they have mentioned about the wind energy and they have told a very wonderful statement. It is really something very great because wind energy starting from 60 megawatts to 5 mega gigawatts even we can produce that wind energy. Wind energy is so powerful and it requires areas of offshore as well as higher altitudes which are more in India. So it is very powerful. So moreover it has one inbuilt scientific facility that each and every wind power unit that you receive, it becomes cubed when it is converted into power output. That is the greatness of that. Moreover he has mentioned very clearly that the maximum potential output MPO of the total wind energy of the world is 5 times more than the global energy productivity of now as well as 40 times more than the global demand of today. So if you can produce something 5 times, why you are not producing even 1/5 of it, 1/10 of it? Now the productivity is not even 1/12 of it. Why it is not there? Because of lack of implementation. Scientists are living in islands, scholars are living in islands, politicians are living in islands, the society is living in lot of cluster of islands. Unless they come to a same platform for knowledge share, technology share and mutual affectionate sharing in an altruistic broader base, it is not going to fructify at all. This is the real situation that exists. Second is water. From water, we are getting lot of water sources. Imbalance of water resources. Who can create it? Some other great political diplomat or a benevolent dictator, military person or military person should come and bring networking of water resources and producing unified energy from water resources. Can we ordinary people can do anything except being pray for it and pray for it? Can we do anything else? We cannot do anything else. The networking should be there because 800% or 800 times more than air, water is denser. So even a small flow or stream of water is more than enough. And water is just flowing in all areas. So water is the best solution for remote area electrification supply more than any other thing. Because naturally it goes there. You can also do everything there. Then there is oceanic water current which is known as marine current. Marine electricity is there. Marine current will use. Even if there is a dampness water, you can get kinetic energy from that. From ocean, you can get oceanothermal energy. From tidal waves, you can get tidal energy. So you can get 4 major energies from the same water sources. And also active and passive systems of solar energy is there. Active system that requires lot of photovoltaic cells, geothermal converters, storage devices, multipliers, and transformers and various other input-output devices. Whenever you come to the mere passive way, there is essential just a panel. If your panel is there with connectivity, absorber and distributor, it is more than enough. So we have to see in China, there is a subsidy for people, those who are going for population control, and there is some sort of sanction on people, those who are overcrowded in the family. Like that, those who are not using proper basic marginal photovoltaic or near thermal energy by solar sources in a passive mode, they should be punished and their electric unit charge should be at least 2 rupees more. So unless there is a punishment, the society is not interested in broad-mindedness. The society is not interested in intelligence. The society is so inscrutably designed in such a manner that it cannot even imagine what is wider, what is broader and deeper. They learn only 2 languages. One is getting incentive or fear of getting punishment. These 2 things are the proper psychoanalytical modular approaches towards the people. You give incentive to the people, those who are using the solar thing, that I will give you 50 Otherwise, if you don't use each and every unit for others, it is 3 rupees for you as a special token of price of my affection and gratitude, 5 rupees. So unless this type of contributive and retributive justice is applied to the people, you cannot create anything. This is a major thing that we have to understand. The final thing is the wholesome nuclear energy. You may be knowing about the cannonball effect that has been started by nuclear thing, because nuclear thing is always risky in nature. One is nuclear depletion theory. Second is peak nuclearism, wherein by this uranium to crystalline or to preserve it is not an easy thing. It may be a non-renewable and non-preservable energy wastage. It may be abducted by non-state reactors and converted into destructive devices. So nuclear energy is also having a very great problem in spite of its greatness. So the best way is to use the sun, to use the air. That is the first way. Sun and air are very much available. The second grade is water, which may be in scarcity, disparity, abnormality or total paucity. Different 4 zones are there in India and our countries. We have to see how it is replaceable. Nuclear energy is the final solution when the people, all the people are converted into Ramas. Not only the ruler, all the citizens become Ramas. They can use nuclear energy. Even if there is a single Ramana amidst 99,959 Ramas, it is going to be a hazardous thing, not only in waste but also in application and resulting in the society. So there are innumerable concerns. There is American Council on Renewable Energy Sources. It is ARCO they call. International Renewable Energy Alliance unit is there. International Renewable Energy Association is there. Innumerable people, they are doing research upon few things. Number one is how to create education. Research institutes, development institutes, education, special institutes, training institutes, public training, that is there. Second thing is non-profit sectors, NGOs, promoters, brand ambassadors. Third thing is government agencies. Fourth thing is business people, entrepreneurs, those who are interested in profitable indulgence, etc. Final thing is dealing with the task makers, policy designers and appliers in the society. These 3 universities are major universal concerns or design bodies meant for this purpose. They are doing innumerable things. Coming to the concluding session of the Indian context. India is very slow. We have to understand India is very, very slow because they started the journey of understanding by just starting the Department of Renewable Energy Sources in 1982. After 10 years only, like a sandal tree, if you plant a sandal tree, after only 10 years you can see the few branches, stems and leaves of it. After 10 years, they started the ministry. Have you heard anywhere else in the world like that? They started in 1982 about the Department of Renewable Energy Sources. 1992, the ministry was effectively started and they started about how to do research, productivity, marketing, aid, subsidies, as well as supporting by all possible means economically and technically. They have done everything later. But how it is possible? Now, according to the present status, you know the present status and the potentiality of India in a very simple illustration. Now they are doing with 1,167 megawatts of wind energy. And this is the basic thing that they are doing. In photovoltaic cells, they are doing with 7 lakhs of small units, that is basic micro units. They are capable of producing a very small base of 353 units that they are doing in megawatts, etc. So each and everything that is produced now, even 10,640 megawatts is produced by means of the geothermal stations that are available. There is one more funny story. Near that seashore of Madras, they started their research on ocean thermal engineering. They spent lakhs and crores of rupees and instigated the pipe inside. The pipe was instigated, that is instigated, not installed. If it is systematically done, that is installation. If you proceed without knowing anything, if you learn by your mistakes and investment of the government and public taxing, that is known as only instigation. That is instigated, not even to get that geothermal energy or ocean thermal energy. They could not get the pipes back so that they can use for re-installation somewhere else. Because of lack of technology and lack of working with other people. See, guys should be independent, guys should be dependent, you should know. You may be a very talented person, but whenever somebody is operating you should not cooperate with them. You should be in anesthesia. So without taking anybody's advice, amidst the admonishment of the government and technical people, out of over-enthusiasm and wrong imitation of US and Spain, these people inserted spending 320 crores of this public money. So that is the problem. In nuclear power station, no doubt we are just growing. We are the 9th nuclear power in the world. And the 4th power source for our country is the nuclear power. And the 4,120 megawatt we are producing with 17 nuclear power stations. 6 power stations are being installed for getting 3,120 megawatts more. And in global consumption also, we are the 5th largest consumer of energy power, especially renewable and other sources. 3.7% of the global energy transaction is done by us. That should be one more notification which conspicuously have to produce here. It is known as Ernst and Young. Ernst and Young, they are all very high profile energy assessment agencies. They have done a very wonderful analysis which is very lamentable. They have graded all the countries. They have taken 5 major countries. One is US, India, Germany, Spain and Canada. All of these countries they have taken. All of these various countries they have taken leading top developed countries, and they have assessed the countries on the basis of renewable energy policy attractiveness of the country. Where there are more possibilities, where there are more flexibilities, where there are more adaptabilities and policy amicabilities that make the people to possible to implant those devices. One is based on shore availability, altitude availability, wind velocity as per the geographical nature, public policy orientation, government stability. So they have analyzed everything. Next to US, India is there. First is US, second is India. Countries like even Germany and Spain, UK, they are put backward. So to that level, how much we are producing? We are producing more. Only fools will say that we are producing more. Because whenever we consider, there was a joke in which one person will say, "Oh Srinivasan, you have completed the whole official knowledge in 3 months." Then Srinivasan was very humble. "Sir, really I am very clever." Then the fellow that the employer added, "Naturally the other persons who are enrolled here, they completed in 1 month." So, if somebody could complete in 3 months, we are happy. But when we learn that the same thing is worthy of being completed in 1 month, then we can understand how the person is either lethargic or idiotic in nature. Like that, our natural productivity, whenever you are seeing that, oh, this much of megawatt, that much of megawatt, 5th largest consumer, 3.7% of the global energy transaction, everything is very much applaudable, laudable, meritorious. But whenever you come to the area that we would have or we ought to do at least 18 times more than what we are, then it becomes lamentable. Somebody told that I am a lakpati. Why you are crying for being a lakpati? He told that before few months I was a crorepati. That certainly is that. So it is a comparative study. When comparing to the potential output of political stability, most of the countries are militarized. How we can do that? So political stability, environmental facility and mass population, youth potential population, geographical distribution, everything to us. So we should be 18 times more than what we are now. Is a lamentable exchange now. That of people are doing. Coming to the final point of rural development by that, it is still lamentable. That of people are doing for their own existence and multi-urbanization, hyper-urbanization, para-urbanization and poly-urbanization. To convert everything into urban units and urban productivity they are doing. For example, there is Maharashtra Airport Development Authority. They are having a power station and they are preparing their own units, megawatt, they are doing that. Second thing is Indian Oil Corporation. They have started a project known as Iran-Pakistan Gas Pipeline Project. The gas pipeline project is in the pipeline stage itself for several decades. So they are doing that. The third thing is the National Power Finance Corporation. They are also doing that. And apart from that, the Narmada Valley Development Project, they are also doing that. Like that, we can mention more than 10 to 12 people, those who are there, the forerunners and pioneers in preparing or in manufacturing power or energy, renewable energy. But is it utilized? There are 3 things. Somebody is dying without food. Somebody is shivering without a cloth. Somebody is suffering because the power is not there, he could not see the TV. Somebody is crying because he cannot purchase a flat. Somebody is purchasing a flat but crying that he could not purchase a ship or plane. All the people are suffering. All the suffering is one and the same. Whenever you distribute energy, basic survival, upright survival, higher survival, advanced survival and sublime survival, you have to categorize the society, and the first category for survival could not be or should not be handled at any cost on any circumstances from any other sources. It should not be diverted. So the survival of the people on energy dependence should remain the same, and whatever development that you do, you should not convert developmental energy that is exploited or extracted from survival usages. Moreover, if you are really altruistic in nature, you can divert developmental energy sources towards survival. That is the real government, that is the real humanitarian basis like that. So these people, they are not doing it. And coming to the real point of dealing with the rural, you know that every year 10% of the economy by means of prospective vision and activities and innovation, it is growing. And a recent report says that this petroleum, fossil fuel and derivative units, the importing value itself that have costed 85,000 crores of rupees. At that time, we should know how to minimize the economic wastage. like energy wastage, how to minimize economic wastage and divert it towards rural infrastructure, education, poverty elimination, malnutrition prevention, education to everybody, employment to everybody, self-employment resources. You should divert that. So you should apply that money for that. How we can do that? Only rural people can do that because of not only having the mind to do but also the mind to do. Urban people have lesser time to think. Urban people have lesser magnanimity inside to think. Only the rural people, because of their mind, because of their magnanimity, because of their mind and intelligence, they can contribute more things to society. So rural people are the caretakers who take care of us while we are slept. And urban people, they swindle our resources when we are in awakened stage. This is the difference between urban and rural society. So rural society should be empowered. For example, now there is a research on Western Maharashtra in few districts, each and every taluk, like Patan taluk, they have made a research and they have stated that if there is a possibility, it is known as waste technology. We have started a technology known as waste technology. It is not preparing technology or technical power from waste. W deals with wasteland, A deals with arid land, S deals with saline land, T deals with technical or terrace, E deals with enrichment or empowerment. So waste, arid and saline terrace enhancement or empowerment is a new project that has been introduced by me at CRISAT. So 50% of the land is the waste, arid and saline, and if you cultivate for liquid fuels something that is connected with agro-residual waste or biomass, you can get both the benefits. You can get the cultivation as well as the land becomes more arable, horrific and florable. So that type of development of the land also is simultaneous with waste, whereas you are getting the benefit also. You should understand what real potential, then everybody should go in agitation against the so-called democratic affinity that is ruling all possibilities of our development in the pretext of ruling us. So we should see how it is possible. For example, in one taluk, we can produce easily minimum 10 to 15 megawatts of internal sources manifestation and manipulation by which we properly and characteristically handle. We can produce 10 to 15 megawatts of energy. And 300 crores of capital input by which we can get at least annually 250 or 200 to 300 broader space we can get the benefits, and at least you can employ in a taluk 30,000 people. When considering 3,340 taluks of India, we can get 7 lakh crores of annual revenue along with the assumed riskless certain perennial job opportunities for 100 million people we can get from the rural potency. It is there in the society. One more thing is that it is known as RUST. As it has been named as RUST, it is always in RUST. It has been introduced by Prime Minister. It is rural electricity supply technology. The Prime Minister has introduced it. And the rural technology is there. But the rural technology works on only in urban areas and it not reaches the rural areas. The name is rural, but it does not reach the rural at all. So in that area, there are a lot of people, I want to say, if you can make your own energy, it is name. If you can create energy and distribute to others, it is fame. If you are dependent on somebody for energy after 10 years, it is a shame on you. So that is going to be the era of the future. In most of the islands, they are given it in writing. Most of the islands in developed areas, they are given it in writing that we don't want your power supply. You come here if you want any power supply for your kid. If you are having any grid and you want that, you come for us. So they have stated that independent power supply. How it is possible? Number one is power monitoring or sensoring. If I am going out of this room, automatically all the light, fans and everything will shut off. Second thing is auto shut off. Whenever there is an auto sensor installed, when the work is done in refrigeration, heater and air conditioner, computer and TV, which are the 5 major energy consuming agents, immediately it will have auto shut off. It will result in 1/12 of power consumption. That is possible. Third thing is dividend. It will start with the conventional power but run with our power. Gaseous usage, mixed usage, energy efficiency, energy loyalty, energy independence. Independent projects are that which we have to discuss in a different seminar. So we have to see how it is possible. Moreover, there is one more technology which is known as alternative alcohol production technology. Instead of getting from the conventional sugar cane, which rules most of the place, taking more time, taking more water, taking more risk and attention, we have to produce what is that is there in the form of sugar beet, sweet morgum and carcassa. All of these basic things are there which equalize the producing of ethanol more when compared to the cost of investment to production, care, meticulous vigilance and transportation and marketability of sugar cane. You can just introduce that. Now in nanotechnology, they are just foremost there in the process of devising storage devices for biofuel. How to induce the potency of photovoltaic cells? 3 things. How to reduce the size. If the photovoltaic cells that you are installing for your house is bigger than your house, where can you reside? Inside the cabin? So there are three things. One is energy cost. And second thing is space. Third thing is perennial source. There are 7 problems that they quote in energy. What are the number one is optimum pricing. How to price it energy? Because it is not reliable. The second thing is consistency of the energy and reliability. It is not also consistent because of the variation in air, variation in water. It is seasonal. All the perennial rivers are seasonal, and seasonal rivers have become rational. Rational rivers, they have become dramatic in nature, and occasionally they come or they don't come at all. So how to rely on the sources? And third thing is how to deal with the technology price. That is also very much important. And fourth is funding from finance corporation and support. That is also a problem. Fifth is a rural reach problem. That is there. Sixth thing is marginal reach and usage by people. These are the major problems. In spite of they have given 80IA is a special provision in tax act. That is by 10 years of tax holiday is given. Subsidy is given. Customs relaxation is given. Excise duty has been highly reduced. Concession is given. In spite of all of this aid, subsidy, further action, association, fund, sponsoring, international network, government tie-upping, mutualizing, local networking, hierarchy fusion, all of these facilities are there. Why it is not succeeding? That is because of the unreliability. That is also a problem with credit worthiness of the people. Lot of people they receive money or subsidy for solar development and they do their own personal development. And the credit worthiness of giving this loan that has depromoted and discouraged the government agencies also. You have to take care of everything. So nanotechnology is building lot of things. How to reduce the size, how to increase the efficiency. Biotechnology is doing much. How to create fuel efficiency more in Tetrapar and various other things. So innumerable people are working out. So we have to take the consensus. How we can take that? There are only 3 ideologies I want to say. Take your place. Fix a target of time saving and investment and start it immediately without expecting anybody. In trial and error, you can learn something. Unless each and everybody here available is really honest to the subject for which they are attending the seminar, organizing the seminar and addressing the seminar, if there is at least an infinitesimal spark of veritability, truth, sincerity and genuinity to the topic that I have taken today, if it comes from the inner abysmal core of the heart, not as a lip service, not as a sip service, but a deepened service, certainly they can do 2 things. You organize at least in your home how to save your energy. So by reduction of appliances, reduction of time towards appliances, reduction of luxurious appliances, minimum usage, utilizing public mode of transportation and organization, collective survival and collective energy, share and technology transfer and sharing, you should maintain first yourself. If possible, at least if possible, you join with people and take a model village and develop the village energy independent. I want to say that each and everybody should have a land, whether they own the land or not. We have created a very great section in the village where 2,000 people purchase 100 acres of land. But somebody will be plowing. All the facilities that is a group farming, they can utilize all technologies. For China, we are making a project how to mechanize agriculture. By means of satellite surveillance, by means of radar and ultrasonics, by means of making lot of sensor equipment for humidity, moisture, pest arrival, climate variation, water humidity, water circulation, semi-irrigation, all of these things are monitored with sensor. I made a project to do for them. Like that, we should see that they purchase a land in which they are not working, but unemployed people they are working and they are capable of giving something to them. So they eat rice from their own land, even though it is attributed by some other delegation. Like that, after few years, at least after 10 years, we should have 2 decent, courageous oaths. I will have my own land and I will cultivate my own rice and I will eat. I will have my own device from which I get my energy for my existence and sustainability. Unless each and everybody can take an oath for energy independence, energy personalization and cultivation personalization, both the energy insecurity and food insecurity problem will not be solved. It will be only a myth and miracle. Miracle can happen when God enters and does something, and myth is always where we live and we have been living for several centuries. I wish and bless the participants as well as the greatest scholars who have come here for lot of solution providing and troubleshooting for the various abnormalities and various incongruities that we are seeing in energy policies and energy practice. Let them be empowered by divine will. Let them be enfranchised by the entanglements of personal and circumstantial enmities and inimical forces. Let them be free. Let them be ferocious. Let them be forceful. Let them be fraternal and integrate and commit something for the society in future. Narayan, Narayan, Narayan.
Thank you very much, all of us here.